What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Marcel P. Black, aka the Oklahoma O'Shea, aka the Ridiculous Rant God, aka Black Guy Fresh. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Thunder up himself, Marcel P. Black. You know what I mean? Here checking in another episode. We back, man. Told you we're really back to be happy to be back talking basketball and BS. Today, I got the boy JB with me. HB had to step away, but he'll be right back. And my boy Coop, Mr. Blurtish himself, is in the building. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk some basketball. Of course, we're gonna talk our home time, and we're gonna get into a couple things happening around the league since we last spoke last week or what have you.
Yeah, last
So
Sunday.
last
Yep,
Sunday. So good brothers, how y'all doing, man?
doing all right.
Yes,
Happy to be
indeed.
back home for a second and all that good stuff. And a lot happened since I last been on
A
and
lot
since I
happened,
last
bro. A
talked.
lot happened. A lot happened, bro. So Jason and Coop, y'all's beloved teams played against each other recently. So we doing home time. It makes sense to start with the Lakers and the Pelicans. So let's
Get a two, get a 2 for 1, like
get a two for one,
Popeyes.
like Popeyes.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like I say, man. It was
Lakers
a
at
good
10 and
game,
3. They have the best.
My bad.
good game for a half. My Lakers came out and we took the Pels lightly for a half. Allowed them to play their style of basketball and get open shots. We went contesting shots on the perimeter. And they looked real nice for the first half. Then in the second half, they're like, okay, look, we the best defensive team in the league. Let's go ahead and shut this down and put the game away and let our boys rest. So second half, we came out, went on a nice little run. And by the fourth quarter, it was like a 20-point game or something like that. And we let our boys rest the rest of the night. That's
I
basically
mean,
what it's going to be like for us for most games throughout the season unless we playing somebody like the Clippers, the Mavs, Portland, no matter what, they always give us trouble. So I think you can see a lot of Laker games this season where it's a good first half, then in the second half, okay, they turn it up and boom, we go sit our starters for like the last half of the fourth. But yeah, this was a good game for a half, and then we did what we were supposed to do. I will say the Pale Wolf was out. We're without Lonzo Ball and Eric Bledsoe, but it wouldn't have mattered. Result would have been the
No,
same. I do like to say Brandon Ingram balling and Zion and balling. But since we talk about those two, Coop, I got a question for you. Do you think Zion and Ingram belong on the same team? Can they both be like the best versions of themselves on the team together?
mm,
as of right now, Brandon, the answer sways for Brandon Ingram right now. Yes, Zion, I don't know, because they still don't really run an offense for Zion. He just kind of get his, and he's able to fit in, and he's Zion Williamson, so he can just do things. That remains to be seen for them to see their max potential. As of right now, it's not a bad thing. I think having somebody, a lot of people are curious because they don't know if the lane is clogged. You have Steven Adams, which is good for now, but again, it's a stopgap, but it's a better stopgap than what they had. So you don't want to necessarily go to D'Antoni Ball and just shrink down, but you may need a younger center who's capable. Like what you want from Jackson Hayes might be the answer to that question. You need somebody who can move, who can catch some alleys, who can just rebound, defend, and ain't worried about plugging up the middle. But they're gonna have to figure it out with the offense eventually.
Jackson Hayes ain't there yet though, man. Like
At
he,
all.
he's not there yet. And like he was a rookie last year. He didn't develop behind like you would have thought he would have got more minutes while Zion was hurt. But like they had him behind damn Derek Favors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
that
so
ain't
so he didn't develop in the shows. I mean, and that's the reason why they wouldn't got somebody like Steven Adams. You know what I'm saying? Because they needed they they
no.
they needed somebody a better
He
rim
can
protector than Jackson Hayes
look.
because
He
Zion ain't playing no defense.
look like you got with the big Kiwi. He can set a pick, play defense, and rebound, and he does it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the setting of picks, because Jackson Hayes act like he just run around there. He forget how to set a pick, and therefore there's no way to get to the damn lane unless somebody get on fire like when Jason Hart did that Jason Hart thing where you score about 8 points in a row. The next thing you got nothing, and then but you need somebody to consistently help people get open. Your stars should be able to have the ability, but you got to create an offense for your talent, and that remains to be seen. You know, they have ability, but it just ain't there yet. What they need to do, Pelicans need to stop with these Jekyll and Hyde halves, and that's just been under the previous coach. I don't know if it's the players or if it just ain't gelled yet. I don't know why they look so good in one half and look like complete trash the next. We saw
Man,
that against Charlotte.
On the last podcast, we were talking about it. In most Pels games, you say half, but in most of their games, it's like the first 44 minutes,
Great.
first 43 minutes, they like a dominant team. Then the last 5 minutes, it's like they forget how to
play
basketball.
ball.
They're terrible. The last 5 minutes of the game, they'll be up 6. Next thing you know, they down 12. Like, what happened?
Like,
they really forget how to play basketball in the fourth quarter.
It is terrible. Like, you just know they're going to lose. Like, that's why I said at the beginning, I have no expectations for this season. My expectations, everybody stay healthy, and hopefully it's fun. But I got to say, watching you blow halves like that is not fun. It gets old real quick. Like, I'd rather see you lose with effort if you're going to, you're a young team developing, you don't know. When you start blowing halves like that, he better figure that one out. Like, that's something that I want to see with the coaching change eventually change.
That's another thing about the Pels. They made the trade and they got Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. I wish they'd have got George Hill instead of Eric Bledsoe, but that's another thing. What is this team? Are they a team that's trying to make the playoffs? Are they a young team trying to let their star develop? It's like they stuck in the middle of we trying to develop Zion and Ingram and Zoe and Hart and Hayes and Walker Alexander, and we trying to make the playoffs at the same time. And like, you don't know what this team is.
You need to put
I think that's the biggest thing with it. You don't know what they are. They don't have an identity.
Just to be determined. They got to wait to trade. Trades got to happen. So that's all I got. Like, this might stay the same analysis until after the trade deadline. Like, I don't know. No, they don't know. They don't know what they want to be.
I got a question for you, Jay.
What's up?
I think y'all are at what 12-3?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, 12-3. It's a 72 game season this year. Can the Lakers win 60 games?
Can they? But will they?
I'm saying, like, do you think it's possible? I mean, do you see them winning 60 games?
No.
Okay. What do you think they finish
in a 72 game season? No. It was 82 possibly. Yeah, 72.
They're not pushing
50 to 55.
55.
Yeah.
I don't see them wanting to push it that hard to do what it would take to win 60.
I don't think they're obsessed with getting the 1 seed either. They don't really care.
Yeah, because like I said on last part, Bron, AD, they know what they have to do to win a championship. So it's like, and really with no home court advantage, because fans ain't at the games, it's like, okay, boom, we feel like we can beat you anywhere anyway. So I don't see.
Well, are they gonna bubble it for the playoffs?
They need to.
It would be nice because the way they postponing and canceling games right now, I think a bubble for the playoffs again would be ideal. Not for the players, but if you want to get the playoffs at least. I feel like a bubble would be nice.
Have a Los Angeles bubble, have an Orlando bubble, have a what is another East Coast bubble you can have?
Chicago.
Chicago got to have one of them. Yeah, the Central, Western time, and Eastern time. So there you go. Like, New York may not get a bubble. I don't think they have the space for it.
I'm not gonna deserve no bubble, man.
Wow.
I have a question. Going back talking about the Pels. So I'm not trying to be like facetious or be dickish or anything when I ask this, but like looking at the Lakers game, and I looked at quite a bit of it. What is Zion doing on defense?
Not a damn thing,
dude. Like
not a damn thing.
And and like you said, me and Coop, we always kind of like talk about like how I'm pro coach and he's anti coach, but then like that's something that Stan needs to get a hold of. I mean, you have a talent like that, and it's almost like on the offensive end, you know what you're going to get, but it's almost negated at times. Like, I mean, if you saw like some of that pick and roll defense from Friday night, I mean, like whoever he guarded ragdolled. Like,
Yeah, it's not fun, man. It's like that. I want to see that change with Stan this season. I don't even care. Record be damn, but I want to see different trends.
It's almost with Zion. It's like when he was at Duke, he played defense, but it's like since he been in the NBA, like he don't take no pride in the defense at all. The effort ain't there. Like he just be looking like, oh, you about to shoot that? Okay, whatever.
I mean,
like
look
what happened?
Time. Yeah, that's the thing. Look where his position half the time. You know, on those pick and rolls, he comes with like Friday night. He came up too far too often. Harold was able to eat. You know, like I mean, just little slip passes and everything, man. Like, you know, I mean, just it's like it's discipline. That's the thing. Like he has the body for it. He has like the tools for it, but like it's all discipline. He just looks lost out
there. Yeah, he looked completely lost, like 90% of the time. Every now and then he'll get a highlight block or something like that. But just far as like being in the right place at the right time, he's never in the right place at the right time. He looks lost, and a lot of it looked like effort to me. Like he don't put forth the effort. Like, nah, I ain't doing it. I don't know.
Maybe is he in shape? That's my question. Is he in shape?
He never looked like he in shape. He never looked in shape to me.
I mean he's as in shape as he is for himself, but I think he can lose. You know, I think he got a little way to go. You know, people like, oh, should he shrink down more? I think losing more. I know he need the muscle, but losing weight would not hurt. Like he's going to be strong. Like people act like he's going to lose an extra 50. Maybe if he lost an extra 20, just be light.
So like, here's the deal. Is it that he conserves all of his energy on offense?
Probably, but he's gonna have to. That's
probably, well, he conserves just for offense. You know, he's exerting so much energy on offense that, like, on defense, like naturally, he's just like, okay, well, I just got 2 on the other end, but
I can take a break. Yes,
and maybe now he's like, well, shoot, he like, I mean, I got Adams down here now, so shit, let me catch a breather.
Basically, and that's what it looks like.
You got to work on that. That boy got exposed Friday night.
Yes, indeed.
You've been getting exposed all season on defense.
Yeah, but it was especially bad because y'all have multiple kind of skilled bigs. So it's kind of like, and they play them together. So, you know, when y'all played AD and Harold together, you know, AD comes into the lane off pick and roll, little slip pass to Harold because Zion, like, he's attacking, he's blitzing Davis. You know, like, I mean just dumb stuff, man.
Yeah, I saw Harold get like 4 or 5 easy dunks and layups off of that.
But I'll just leave my last guest thought on the Pelicans. I heard somebody, I think it was on The Ringer. People's like, oh, I would love to see, you know, Zion with his own team. No, I'm straight. Like, I'm happy with Ingram. I'm happy with Ingram's develop enough that Ingram is just as important as Zion. They're both young. I don't like The Ringer float that out there, or was it Ryan Russillo and Bill Simmons like, no. He don't need his own team yet. Let's not do that. They fine.
If Zion had his own team, he would be like no offense, Marcel, he'd be like Jeremy Grant on the Pistons right now on a bad team, just putting up major numbers. On a bad team, putting up 27 and 13 with no block because he still ain't playing no defense. But that would be Zion's bad team. Buckets and rebounds, nothing else. Nah, he need to be on a team where he learned to play disciplined NBA basketball where they have an actual goal of achieving something. Being on your own team doesn't always matter for your development. And he needs to develop if he's going to be that guy that we all thought he was going to be coming out of Duke.
It's there.
And I think he can be. I ultimately, man, I think he can be. I think he's still learning the game. Like a lot of these, you gotta think about it, man. Like the superstars of old, like barring you people who you know what I'm saying, like was, you know, came straight to the pros from high school. Like they had 2 or 3 years in college and they was coming into the league at 21, 22. Like, so all these guys they have super duper talent, but they don't really learn how to play ball like professional basketball players outside of just having athletic skill until they 21, 22, but they come in the league when they're 18, 19. Like literally 2.5 years ago, he's playing against, you know what I'm saying, parochial school kids in South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? it's so, you know what I'm saying? So the way the NBA is set up anymore, like you know, because of, you know, ad revenue and superstardom and dollar, you know, the way the money works or whatever, like as soon as the young guys come in, the guys come in younger, but they have more responsibility. And so they don't really put a whole bunch of vets around it. So
that's
like
why if you're a small market team, you got 6 years. If you got a big time rookie, you must make it happen within 6 years because you're gonna
100%.
because you're gonna have the rookie contract. The first contract, the team has a little bit more power to extend them automatically. And then if you're a rookie, you're not gonna turn down $100 million. But after that 6, 7, 8 years, you're on the clock. So that's why you got to improve immediately.
So it's like I said, so like these guys ain't got no vets around them. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got it, ain't like it used to be. I was listening to who was it? It was Vince Carter. And you know, he was the human, you know what I'm saying, human highlight reel. And he said when he got to Toronto, Charles Oakley was his vet. And so he was like, I learned how to be a professional real quick, fast, and hurt because Charles Oakley was a grown ass man and he didn't like kowtow to me because I was a new guy coming out of college, right? And so, but now, a person like Trae Young is coming to the Hawks. And Vince Carter was talking about the difference. Like Trae Young comes to the Hawks and like he kind of runs everything. Like there's no vets around him, can't nobody really tell him nothing, and there's no pressure for nobody to tell him nothing, right? And so it's gonna take all those guys, like, you know, it's, you know, certain people are exceptions, but it's gonna take all those guys a couple years to really learn how to play ball and really win. You know what I'm saying, and really learn how to compete. And I think Zion, my biggest thing is I just want him to make sure that he's healthy. I want him to like get his weight right because the way he plays, man, you know what I'm saying? Like he needed to go to that. You remember that time when that offseason when LeBron dropped like 35, he got down to like 220, and he was lean.
Yeah.
And he was skying over everybody. Like he need to find that diet so he can just drop like, okay, let me get to a healthy fighting weight, whatever.
He gotta get lean and quick.
Get on that veganism or whatever CP3 on.
Man, he in New Orleans, dog. He no, he eating good, brother.
Vegan seafood, y'all. Well, whoops, my bad. They don't exist. Yeah. But get a dope vegan New Orleans diet, man. Eggplant. They can do wonders with it.
Eggplant palm. Quit eating all these beignets from Cafe Du Monde.
You know it.
He all the gumbo
and all that, bro.
Everything. Going to Danny, getting a seafood platter, eating the whole platter by itself.
By year 3, Zion does not look like me. He does not need to look like me at all.
Well, look, man. So before we go to our next part, I want to stop and say, you know, this is airing on a Monday, so happy little Martin Luther King Day. But today is one of our own's birthday, man. The big 4-0 for our brother HB Harold Brown.
Oh yeah, today's birthday.
Yeah, man. Big 4-0, man. Look at him, bro. He's looking good, brother. You ain't got.
I'm
you know
trying,
what I'm saying?
man.
You trying, bro? It's all, man. Look, that black strap keep you young, huh? All right, so man, let's talk. So this week is cool because the last games we have for our beloved teams played each other, so we ain't got to pull up a whole bunch of different clips. So Bulls versus Thunder. Y'all was up 22, and we came back and won by 2 in overtime. So I'm gonna let you. Since it's your birthday, I'm gonna let you begin.
Okay. So as a famous internet meme says, we had y'all in the first half. A couple of things. Now we started off great, and like Zach came out balling. You know, you see that, like, I mean, just no conscience. I mean, I guess one thing about it, first thing that I observe is that when we're running, because I think we're playing at, if I'm not mistaken, the third fastest pace in the league. If we're running, we're gonna cause problems. You know, especially with getting marketing back. Like, we have enough offense on the floor, and as long as we're moving, we're getting shots. Like the young guys are starting to get a little bit more confident. Particularly Kobe White, it looks like he's kind of developed that little 12 to 15 footer that's kind of getting back popularized, a little mid-range jumper. Because the thing is, like, he has the quickness to beat his guy in most cases. So, or come off the screens pretty quick. So, you know, he's kind of getting comfortable with that. So yeah, like in the first half, that's the thing. The one thing that we did, we came out running. We kind of put y'all on y'all heels immediately, and we just kind of kept running. We kept rolling. But because y'all are smart, because one thing about y'all play hard, and y'all are, smartly coached team. Um, y'all forced us into more of a half court game in the second half. And because y'all are, I mean, quite honestly, like on paper, your guys are a little tougher than our guys, and a little bit more cohesive. Even with the new coach, he was ability to decipher. So like a lot of those tendencies are still there, and you can tell how well all those guys kind of play together. Um, so yeah, second half y'all slowed us down, and really it showed a lot of our weaknesses operating in the half court. Um, so I'm not too down on it because like I saw a lot of good things. Like I was really impressed with Kobe White. I continue to be impressed with Pat Williams. Zach's doing his thing, man. Like I know he's not the easiest guy to root for, but like I mean Zach's balling right now. I think they said that like um of pick and roll scores in the league, he's second only to Dame. Like like he's getting points and he's getting buckets, and like I said, he's doing it in an efficient way. Um, and one thing that I have noticed is that with Martin coming back, we're starting all of our young guys, but I kind of like that second unit of kind of like older guys that we bring in, G Temp, Ben Root stand up, Thaddeus Young, out of Porter, like I kind of like it. It's rounded in form. It doesn't work great, and honestly, I would probably rather have one of those guys in for a little bit of defensive heft, or just any heft at all. But yeah, I y'all took it to us in the second half, man. Like I said, when we were forced to play half court, I saw it just kind of chipping away. And then there's the other part, like one thing that this little thing called defense that we just don't play at all.
Y'all
You
got a
know,
team for Zion.
it's weird, man, because we say we want to tank, but like I think Chris Paul start with Russ. I mean, it's always been in our spirit to compete, even when we weren't that good or what have you. So I think that's a part of that. I think last year, like Chris Paul was like, "Nah, we're not tanking," and I think that Shea and Dort are Chris Paul disciples. Like it's so cool, like watching them on social media. So like every time Dort and Shea have a good game, you see CP3 and you see Schroeder like shouting them out and like bigging them up or whatever. So so I think like we not tanking. We might not be that good, but I think it's important for us to go out there and play hard every night and develop because we have such a young team. George Hill didn't play. It's funny because like they only play the only time Isaiah Roby gets any playing time is when Al Horford doesn't play, and he does good. But he's like a 6'9" center. But like if Al Horford is playing, Roby is getting the DNP off the flap. But if he's not, he go out there and he does pretty well. My man Dort is like top 10 in 3-point percentage this year. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's saying it's a fluke, but like that man really put in work over the offseason. Like he's really developing. SGA, man. SGA 33 points, 10 assists, 5 boards. SGA is like he's like deceivingly like I don't know if he's fast or if he's slow because he has a stop and go game. Like you can't tell. Like it's like he can stop on a dime and get nonsense change. And so it's like interesting to watch the way he gets to the buckets. And they're saying how like one that's like we just listened to the podcast and said like one of his best skills is because he can stop and go and create a shot. He's going to get to the free throw line a lot. I think that's what's going to separate him to really get up there. My boy,
Crap.
Don't hurt either.
But yeah, so I think like for the first time in years, we actually have wings that will shoot, not even can shoot, but like that's what stopped us like from going back to Tabo, you know what I'm saying, to Jeremy Lamb, to you know what I'm saying, to Roberson, you know what I mean. Like we had, we've always tried to get that 3-and-D person and never really fully got him. You know what I'm saying? If we had a scorer, they couldn't play no defense. So, and if they had a defender, they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't score like that. And so Dort out there locking people up, and he's still out here getting buckets. So I love it.
Looking at these highlights and looking at this score, like change, like what the hell the Bulls doing? Like,
cool. I just went through it. That one thing, that one part of the ball, that little part of the ball called defense, we don't do it, especially in the pick and roll. Like, because Sally, you were talking about SGA. My thing is, I get the whole like the kind of like fast, stop and go, but like his spin move, he has a sick spin move, dude. Like he used it on us, like he unleashed it on us like 5 times. It was successful each time using it.
Look at that. He just look.
Wait. You
He,
said
you know what I'm saying? His hesitation game is crazy, man. It's just like
you said SGA not Pascal Siakam.
You said what? You said what?
SGA not Pascal Siakam with the weak spin move.
It's like and maybe it's a Canada thing. I don't know, man. Maybe that's because maybe that's the reason why Dort and because Dort is I think he was born in Haiti, but you know what I'm saying, he grew up in Montreal.
Yeah.
And what's the name from Toronto? So I don't know what it is, man. Like this is a backcourt. This is like we've been blessed to always have like a good tandem at least. And this with Baisley in there, man, this is something there you go, Roby. This is something that I hope we kind of keep together. Also, I can't. It's so complicated, but I want to say like with Harden getting traded to the Nets, it made our picks even better. So they were saying that like we looking at like I want to say because I don't know. And Harold, you have to look at this because I don't really know. But it's like top 4 protected and top 10. So like they talk about either 3 and 5 or 3 and 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, man, it's crazy. So if we got 4 this coming draft, we got 4 first-round picks or what have you. And we got crazy assets. And like I said, we still if anybody interested in Al Horford or George Hill, my dog behind me, he over here. My dog is always up. You know what I'm saying? To cut a deal with you, and we'll get that out to you. But yeah, man, it's we 6-6. We competing. We're still trying to figure out who we are. I mean, we know who we are, but it goes back and forth to be like we should tank, or then it goes to we too good to tank. You know what I'm saying? So
at this point, before we transition, y'all have no reason to tank at this point. Y'all got 4 draft picks, so go for it.
Well, we try to make sure we stay in that lottery. You know what I'm saying? So like we need the Clippers to lose, and with Harden getting traded, that gave us even more incentive to not win as much because you know what I'm saying. Our picks got even stronger or whatever to make sure we get top 4 or whatever. So and I don't watch college that much, but I'm hearing that this draft class is gonna be pretty good or what have you.
This
So
is supposed to be a pretty decent one, I think.
And you know how we draft, and you know how my guy get busy with the draft picks. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Like it's just fun, man. I just love to see my boys play ball, man. It's go out there and compete, man. And that's what it's about for me. Like let's go out there and compete. My man Poku had 5. You know what I mean? He's still a stepper. You know what I mean?
Even in the loss, like I saw things that I liked out of both teams. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I want my Bulls to get the win, and this would have been a really big win for them because, like I said, we're both young teams, but I feel like y'all are a little bit more established than we are. Especially like with the regime change and everything, because like I said, and like I said, once again, it's Harold's broken record corner, but like we're still with Billy D being installed, we're still trying to figure out roles for some of these guys. It's like it's starting to look good. Like I said, I kind of like the whole like young guys starting and old guys kind of come off the bench type of deal. Even though I would kind of switch a couple of things around for defensive purposes, but like I said, I mean, for a young team that that's kind of on the rebuilding edge, because like you said it right, it's kind of hard to gauge because the vision is to rebuild, but y'all winning games, like y'all are tied for 8 with like 4 other teams at 6-6, like, and it's one of those things that you don't want to have kind of like the process situation where like some of these guys get so disengaged and they pick up so many bad habits because the expectation isn't there for them to win on night.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to create that culture of losers. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be competitive, even if we don't make the playoffs, even if we only win 35 games, what have you. We want to be competitive. We want to get good habits out there, good team habits. And everybody's talking about how like Shea is stepping up as a leader. Like he makes sure that he's the last person off the court. He's making sure he's doing the press every single night. He's making sure that he's, you know what I'm saying? So I mean he had great examples, you know what I'm saying? He had great examples.
Nice to see a rookie have more veteran leadership than some of these other veterans. I'm sure we're gonna talk about.
And this is the difference. You know, I got to find a way to throw some slander in. This is the difference between him being in the Clippers and having P-Bev be his vet. You know what I'm saying? Be his vet, and having CP3 be in his vet. He would be worth a damn if he, you know what I'm saying? If he ever listening to the bullshit that P-Bev up there saying, he'd be a bum.
P-Bev moment is brought to you by Blurtish.com.
Hey, that made all the difference, Billy. That made all the difference.
Yeah, it made a difference, man.
That made all the difference.
Dog, for a starting point guard, dog, Patrick Beverly is terrible. Look at his stats, man. Like, so let me stop.
Broadcast announcement.
Dude, just started cool.
My fault. You know I got lick shots. So look, so we talked about the Harden trade, bro. So we gotta look at this, man. So I have a question. We talked about tanking with the Thunder. We talked about the process, you know what I'm saying, whatever, tanking with Philadelphia, whatever. So we've seen tanking. Has there ever been another time where a player tanked? A player tanked. This is the first time in history where a player tanked to get out of a situation.
AD from New Orleans.
You said what?
AD when he wanted to leave the Pels.
Not like this. Not like this. At least
he kind of did. He kind of did. But
at least he can hide behind being hurt, though. At least he can hide behind being hurt.
But you know what? The difference is
he didn't even play.
He's so visible and he's so out there with the Rona, with the strippers, with the extra gut, and just the foolishness. Like that, the epitome of not giving a damn. You look up and you see James Harden's face. And the shady lies in the letters and the press conference, like such a brat. It's just AD at least shut up. You're like, all right, I ain't going to Boston. I want to go to LA. Then he just kind of shut up and he disappeared.
Yeah, he ain't playing. Then he just was out.
Yeah,
and like I said, at least he can say he was hurt though. He like this like Harden's just like, man, I'm going to Onyx, bro. Like, and I'm coming in fat as hell. Like.
I'm still gonna put up 20 points.
Right, but he come out the first game when he came back. He came out after they talked about him. He hit him with 44-17, and then like the next 5 games, they were saying that he had like a 4 or 5 game stretch. We only had like 16 to 17 points. They said he had that since he was coming off the bench, Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
he was not trying at all.
It was obvious if you watched the game. I ain't gonna lie, it was obvious if you watched the game. He was just like, yeah, I could get a bucket if I want to, but I'm not.
Bro,
he was just going through the motions.
I'm shocked that he didn't like take off his shoes and sit Indian style in the middle of the court and just let the game go all around. I'm shocked, dude. Like, I mean, and the thing about what I was telling Sully before we got on is that like the height of the disrespect is that he's still fat, but in his first game with the Nets last night, he dropped a 30-point triple-double.
Bro.
It's not even so much about him being chubby. It's the fact that this brother ain't trying to stay in shape when he's paid to be in shape as an athlete. He went drinking and partying and endangering human lives out here just because he didn't give a damn. And just being a crappy teammate.
Bro. And like I said, I looked at most of the game last night. I mean, automatic. Then you had KD putting in his 42 and making it look like
how much effort this dude? He out here playing defense, man. Yeah. Like what? Like, this dude showing effort on the defensive end. Who is this guy?
He was out there picking pockets, getting steals. Like, I mean, like,
bro, that just shows you how much he just wanted to be away from Houston. Like, just it was open. And the sad, really. Go ahead.
That's my only problem with the trade. He came into Houston. He showed y'all zero respect. I mean, like less than zero. Y'all still traded him to his preferred destination. That's my only problem with the trade. Pop
would never.
You feel me?
Papa said that made Cleveland. Papa said that made
look, he'd have been in Sacramento, Minnesota, Detroit. He'd have been anywhere but Brooklyn messing with me, man.
Well, you say that, but it backfired on Pop too, though. It didn't work for Pop, but still, we get
exactly. That's the problem. Like you said, them gave them a championship. Like, and also, do you want to be a GM where players know that you try to be petty and they don't want to, they take it out on you?
I mean,
you know,
think
you ain't
about
gonna
it.
last long.
Man,
Delicate, yeah.
You know,
Like,
Pop is Pop, but you know, average GM guy can't do that.
I mean, Utah did it to Darren Williams
Well, it's
when
Utah.
they traded him to the Nets. They're like, you know what? Because remember, Darren Williams wasn't even on the trade block. There's no rumors, no nothing. You just wake up the next morning, Darren Williams traded to the Nets.
He found out at home.
Basically, yeah, he found out he found out on Twitter or something like, yeah, like that's my only problem with the trade. He came in, showed y'all no respect, and then y'all traded him where he wanted to go.
I got a question.
Didn't want to be.
I got a question. Next CBA, is what, in a year or two?
Yeah.
How do I think this affect? Like, do you? I saw on another podcast. How do y'all feel this will affect the CBA? Because you know James Harden's behavior, probably Kyrie, is going to be on a docket on some. It's going to be a part of the meeting, and I know that they're player friendly. But do you think this is like, all right, this is enough? We got to fight back a little bit. Do you think that?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, and it's like me and Sally were talking about it before we hopped on. And the thing about it is that, like, what I was saying is that this gives like all the wrong people ammunition to attack like the player empowerment movement. But the thing about it is that, like I was telling Marcel, when you think about the player empowerment movement, it only applies to like a handful of guys. True. Like Jay Crowder and Thad Young, they're not cutting up about their contract. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, I think we'll probably see is a little bit more like, I won't say infighting, but like in discussion amongst the players union and the players, like, hey, like, so if I'm not all NBA, like, how am I cashing out on this? Like, you know, cashing in on this. Like, what are the benefits to this player empowerment era if I'm not all NBA? You know what I'm saying? So I think,
and the answer is zero. Because if whatever contract you sign, now that's the condition where, like, if Jay Crowder comes to average NBA guy, I'll see you in Minnesota very soon, partner. I'll trade you for a pick. All right.
Right.
I'll get somebody filling your points.
So the thing is, I think it will be a point of contention, but it kind of sucks because you have like a few like high profile people that are pretty much like exhibiting behavior that's not, you know, kind of like reflective of like your player union as a whole. So yeah, Harden and Kyrie is definitely going to hurt the players next year.
So you said Kyrie. Before we get into Kyrie, real quick. So Harden was the biggest name in the trade, but there was some other people got traded too. Real quick, I just want to look at some other people that was in the trade and maybe discuss the pluses and minuses of, you know, the winners and losers, which I think will happen. So the Rockets got Oladipo, Dante Exum, and Rodions Kurucs. 3 Brooklyn first rounders, 22, 24, 26. They got 1 Milwaukee first, 22 unprotected, and 4 Brooklyn first round swaps, 21, 23, 25, 27. The Nets get James Harden, of course. The Pacers got Karis LeVert, and unfortunately, who's out for the year, I think, right? I think he's out for the year. Yeah, unfortunately, because that's a crush, man. Because that brother was hooping. They got a second rounder in the Cavs. Got deeper in the front court with Jared Allen and Torian Prince. So how do we feel about the rest of the trades besides James Harden? Like I said, shout out because my guy back here, our trades got a whole lot sweeter. You know what I'm saying? But how y'all feel about the rest of these trades, man?
Okay, so one, what are the Cavs doing? Because they got like 10 bigs on their roster. It seems like the Cavs got all bigs. I don't think they have any point. They got 2 point guards. I feel like they got a bunch of bigs.
They got Sexton, Dellavedova, and a whole bunch they got a whole bunch of big men.
Like, what are they doing with the Cavs? What are they doing? That's a good question. 2, Dante Exum still in the league?
I said the same thing. Like, Dante Exum.
Yeah. Like, he's still in the league? The dude still getting NBA checks?
That's his greatest.
He should have been gone. That's his best accomplishment. Been in the trade, still getting the NBA check. Man.
Shout out to Xavier Hunter. He's in the group, in the Basketball BS group. He was like, you know, he said it with earnest. I thought he was laughing, but he was like, Houston developed Exum what he thought it was gonna be. I'm like, Xavier, listen to the words from my mouth.
No.
Do not get used to Exum being around. Exum is trade cannon fodder. His career is over.
All right.
But Rockets still did good though.
Yeah, I'm into the Rockets are gonna be competitive and they're gonna be real fun to play with on 2K, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna be real fun to play with 2K. They're gonna be competitive. I like John Wall kind of on his revenge comeback season. I kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Boogie's gonna continue hurting people and flagrant fouling people and doing Boogie. I really want to see both of them play a full season healthy. You know, of course they're gonna be sitting out, but like, you know, I want them not to have broken kneecaps and elbows. You know what I'm saying? Like play a complete season. You know, so I think that's gonna be. Oh, if somebody made a joke, they'll talk about how like all the strippers are upset that Harden is gone. Like our boy John Wall don't get it in. John Wall gets it in and throws gang signs, and they got Bloods. Right. Houston, he'll be all right. But
I think the other part, like the one thing that I'm looking at is Victor Oladipo. So Oladipo in Indiana kind of got his chops back offensively, but defensively, he's still kind of a question mark. He doesn't look the same. And for Oladipo, he kind of has his eyes set on Miami. So my thing is he going to look at this as like an opportunity to say like, hey, Miami, come get your boy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if they can get good production out of him this year, that's fine. But I definitely wouldn't,
he's on an expiring, isn't
he?
Yeah.
So
he's not sticking around.
He's not sticking around.
Yeah, you got to run.
Right. Okay, cool. So, I saw in the notes, y'all want to talk about the Sixers. So, I got it pulled up. Let's talk about the Sixers. Where we at with it?
All right, so
I'm surprised Houston ain't take that deal for Simmons. I'm surprised they ain't get Ben.
Yeah.
That's what I thought they would have did. I thought they would have took the deal and got Ben. Then you'd have got, he's not as good as James Harden, but Ben Simmons is a damn good NBA player. You would have really made out nice in that trade if they took Simmons. I thought that's the deal they should have took. One, because you ain't sitting in Brooklyn where you wanted to go, and two, you got a better damn player out the deal. And being in a contract for 4 or 5 years, so he ain't going nowhere. I thought they should have took Ben. But I will say Embiid looking nice this year. Hopefully JoJo can stay healthy because he should get some sneaky MVP votes. He keep it up.
I gotta give Embiid props.
JoJo
like
looking nice.
A 7-foot guard out there with the giant Euro step at 3 points. Like it's amazing to see.
I mean, you put up 45 and 16 against the Heat the other night. I mean, and that's the thing. Like it was like, I mean, that footwork, man. It was like shades of Olajuwon, bro. Like he was getting it in, man. I mean, he was like bully. And that's the thing. That's all we ever wanted from him. Play some bully ball. Play like get your big behind on the block and bully people. You're huge and you're skilled. Like there isn't a big that can hold. I don't think so. Like who you think can like literally like sit in the paint for 40 minutes and guard and beat? Is there anybody?
In the paint?
Maybe Gobert.
In the paint, Adams and Gobert, but he'll just take them outside and do them.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to check and beat.
Yeah. But with the team, like they look pretty good. They're getting a lot of production out of their young guys, and it's funny, like talking about Doc. Doc didn't want to play rookies. He was horrible at playing rookies until that season in with the Clippers, where they kind of, well, matter of fact, it was SGA's rookie season, but he played him a lot. They played a lot of other guys, guys that aren't really around anymore. But like that's something that's kind of followed in Philadelphia. So like you got the kid like Tyrese Maxey and Isaiah Joe and like a bunch of guys I had to look up when I was looking at the highlights. It was like, oh, okay, this guy's kind of nice. So I mean, they're sneaky deep. Doc's a big rah-rah guy, so they'll run through a wall for him. I guess like the big issue is going to be now that Ben was involved in these trade talks. Like, where is he mental?
Was it just Bill Dwight Howard out here kind of swerving a little bit? Was Dwight Howard kind of balling a little bit?
A little bit.
Because it looked like Embiid ain't playing, so he already kind of getting busy. Man, it is crazy because Dwight Howard, bro, that man, he must got that super soldier serum, dog. That dude look in great shape. Like that dude, a super duper cut. He look just as agile and cut as he did when he was in Orlando, bro.
Like
he been in the league for 10, 15 years, bro.
He stays in shape. Like he stays in like bodybuilder shape. And now he did the thing that we want Zion to do. He got even leaner. Of course, he had to because of his knees, but he knows how to get his body right.
The physical has never been a problem with Dwight Howard, and you know that.
It's always the mental.
Right. Like he's 12, he has the emotional intelligence of a 5-year-old. So I mean,
quit insulting 5-year-olds, HB.
All right, right.
Quit insulting.
Shout out to all the kindergartners out there.
All right. So we looking, man. Our last topic before we go, we touched on him a little bit. Our brother Kyrie, man. What's going on with our brother Kyrie, bro?
Talked about this the other day. I got some different opinions on it. In fact, I was listening to Van Lathan and his podcast about the Van. It probably is a mental illness. Now, to think about a little bit, but he also made a point that it's okay if it is a mental illness or he needs time away, but there's a way to handle things. If you take a time to take off, be man enough to say, I got to tap out. I lost family members. Like it has happened to us all in reality. Whereas us 9-to-5ers can't always tap out and go away for a month because we got to provide for our families, got to do this. And we got to bear and grin it unfortunately, in this dark times of society. That don't mean we ain't suffering inside or don't see what's going on. So, I am very pro player, but I also just not I'm against snobbish, bratish behavior. Just say, man, look, hey, it's on me. I need to take a break. Just do that. And don't set up your coach. Don't set up people who don't know and, nobody knows for a while. I'm not saying the media got to know every aspect of your life, but when you are Kyrie Irving, you are a superstar. That factors a little bit more than say if you're not to just then 12 man disappear and whatever.
You're Dante Exum.
Yeah, like
just don't blindside people. Don't allow your people to be blindsided, and that's exactly what it is.
So
be a grown up, handle your business.
Just say, hey man, I need help.
Like it makes me wonder who's in his inner circle. Like who's like I was saying, like me and HB was saying earlier before the call, like, where's your Uncle Dennis, man? Or shit, tell Rod Strickland, Godfather, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's, because that they said that he was at his sister's birthday party, and and whatever, he violated some code. He got fined $50,000, but like that's light. But like they're talking about like, his contract might be void. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't show up, and like, I mean, I like brother Kyrie. I don't want him to see him go. Like I don't want. It looked like he's kind of going to Ricky Williams route. You know what I'm saying? Like, And like I mean, Stephen A said maybe you should retire and come back when you need to or whatever. But I don't know, man. But like,
don't officially retire.
There's been a history. If it's about social protest, right? There's a history of players who have protested and made their points known. You know what I'm saying? Just lean on them, ask questions, talk to them, get advice from them. But like just sitting down and not letting anybody in and nobody knows what's going on. Because think about it, like if this is really about you making a statement, then you need to control your narrative.
Yes, you need to.
You don't need something. Skip Bayless. You don't need Max Kellerman or Stephen A. Stiff. You know what I'm saying? If it's about something, then you need to say what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Yes. If it's mental health, you need to say it's mental health. If it's you tired of, if you was affected by what you saw at the insurrection at the nation's capital, then you need to say that. You know what I'm saying? But like, control your narrative, because the more you let other people speak for you, you know what I'm saying, the more and more people will put words in your mouth and trying to say, they will try to tell you what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then none of it's effective at that point or what have you. But yeah, man, I really, so real quick, we got 10 minutes left. What does, let's say he does come back at full strength. What does a what does a Nets roster look like starting with Kyrie? Kyrie, Harden. So that means we start DJ, Kyrie, Harden, KD, and what, Jeff Green?
Maybe.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got Joe Harris first off the bench.
Joe Harris first off the bench.
I guess I'll make my prediction for them. I said this on another podcast again. I think they're going to be formidable, but I think they will run I think they'll do good in the playoffs until they run into Miami or Milwaukee, and they will lose to a real team.
I think they
Miami.
Milwaukee.
I don't know.
I think they beat Milwaukee. I don't trust Milwaukee's offense in the postseason.
I think Miami will D them up enough. And I just don't think they're mentally strong with all between the three of them to deal with this type of adversity. Like once they reach adversity.
And also, who's going to play defense?
Nobody.
They gave away the two defenders.
Oh man, if you depend on, let's see, Jeff Green, your stopper.
Jeff Green and KD has to facilitate a lot. He maybe when Kyrie comes back, he can kind of he can kind of like move around a little bit more on defense, but you're still dependent on KD to put up points and facilitate a lot of offense. That's the thing. Like Taurean Prince was your best perimeter defender. Jared Allen was your best rim protector. I mean, like, as a matter of fact, looking at the game last night, you kind of saw it. Like, Orlando isn't a great offensive team. They were getting bucked. Hey, shout out to Cole Anthony, though. Like, Cole Anthony's getting off. Like, Vucci hit him up. Vucci may hit him up for like 33 and 9 or something nasty like that. Like, that's the thing. Their whole philosophy is we're going to run you off the court. But like Coop said, when you run into a team that's solid defensively and that has the ability to force you into more of a half-court game, but can still score efficiently, what is that going to look like? And, as a matter of fact, we're going to get a good look at that tomorrow because on MLK Day, I think the 6 o'clock game on TNT is the Nets against the Bucks. So, still without Kyrie, but it'll give you some sort of an idea.
Yeah. And I mean, who's going to still
giving them 30? They got a 30-piece coming from KD and James Harden.
Yeah, I mean, I still got love for
like you say.
Yeah, but I just think they're going to implode. I think no matter what they achieve, even if they got to the finals, I think they get exposed in the finals by whoever makes it. But I don't think they beat Miami in a series.
Cool. Yeah, just said they get exposed by the defending NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers if they make it to the finals. I love the way they sound, defending NBA Los Angeles Lakers.
Look, I don't know nothing about it. Rub it in my face, man. Stop that.
I just like saying it. It sounds good. Oh man, it sounds real good.
It sounds right.
Another thing, think about it though. If you look at Brooklyn roster, people saying, "Oh, they probably not done. They probably make another couple of changes." They don't have any more trade capital.
Where? How?
Only other trade capital they have is, guess what? Kyrie Irving. So they don't have anything else to move. They don't have any other pieces to move.
Have you heard this? Have you heard this? I'm sure it came out of LOB, but they should trade Kyrie for Westbrook and get the team back together.
What? Man, I swear
that ain't happening. I don't think that's happening.
Did Skip Bayless start that group or something? I don't know. What's up?
Bro, that's a I don't know.
A hateful group.
That's a Ryan Collins group. What's your man name? Who be the former basketball player? Ryan Hollins. Yeah, he probably started LOB, man.
Man, it's terrible.
It's terrible, bro. The worst takes in the world. But yeah, look, that's about it, man. We're running out of time here, man. Appreciate y'all once again. Happy birthday to you, HB. By the time you see this, it will be Martin Luther King Day. So y'all make sure, you know what I'm saying, that you take your time for yourself. You're paying homage to the GOAT, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. loving your family. Basketball and BS. Exclamation mark, right? Exclamation mark.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball
Yes.
and BS, exclamation mark, on Instagram and on Twitter. Basketball and BS on YouTube. That's where this video will be, what have you. It will be on Anchor, so Spotify, all the other good DSPs, what have you, as well as blurters.com. Coop, I know you always got something you want to plug before we go.
Cool. The sale just ended. Got another sale coming up, and of course, at the end of this month, that includes basketball and BS merch. Of course, merch for Blurtish as well. Just did an interview with the Week in Geek, the actual probably biggest nerd pop culture show out of New Orleans. That will be up after the Saints game. Shout out to them. They're based with iHeartRadio, and guy works with a couple of people like Uptown Angela and AD Barry. And I heard AD Barry in the background when I was doing the pre-show with him, and he sounded exactly like how he sound on the radio. But so just got that coming, and I got an interview. Just did an interview with the LSU Reveille and a pop-up at Red Stick Reads. Come get you some books, get you some Black literacy. January 29th on a Friday. Come grab some.
100%, man. If you're into hip hop, man, go to monsterpeopleact.com. I got several interviews up with underground hip hop legends. I just interviewed Cesar Comanche. I got Carnage the Execution. I got Wordsworth. I got Illogic, and I got some more special people coming up. So if you're into hip hop in any capacity, come check out the Really Out Your podcast. That is our time for today. We will see you next week. Allah Mahaba and freedom.